Hello, 'tis I, Fat Cow. Well, she's only bleeding gone and done it, hasn't she? Foodie Beauty has come up with the one excuse her husband cannot argue against: money. Foodie has to eat crap food. Foodie has to eat a large variety of crap food because Foodie is now a food reviewer. It's the only direction she can see her channel going in, if, is to be successful. And we all know how much Salah loves the consequences of successful channels. Foodie, if you're going to be a food reviewer, you're going to have to learn more words to describe food than fresh. Just say it how it is, Foodie. I'm making feeder porn. Anyway, Foodie went out. Foodie didn't like the comments she got in her chat. Let's investigate, shall we? One thing though, before I forget. No, Foodie, you can't abstain. You're physically incapable of abstaining, and we have historic evidence of the fact. You conquered your white powdered addiction by replacing it with a different drug, THC, when in actual legitimate rehab you're coming off a drug of choice, in this case white powder. You are told not to use any drugs as a substitute. Any. The same applies to food addiction. You get rid of the food that you're addicted to, in your case absolute crap, high salt, high fat, high sugar, highly palatable takeaway foods, plus junk food such as crisps, chips, biscuits, whatever. I'm said it until I'm blue in the face. No, you can't abstain. You replace one addiction with another. And because food is your main squeeze, you're not prepared to replace that addiction with something else. We saw you when you saw that Lulu cart. Cart. We saw you when you saw that Lulu cart. You were like a child at a birthday party. You were legitimately joyous, and that is the whole issue. Food makes you high. It makes you feel happy. It is making up for your shit show of an existence, and that is why you cannot give it up.
Yes, that's true, Anna. I did. I don't feel like really talking about my therapy online, but yes.
Consider this a disclaimer of sorts on behalf of Foodie Beauty. Therapy does not make you feel good. It does not. It brings up a lot of things that the majority of the people choose not to think about or address. Now, Foodie wouldn't have been asked to talk about anything in particular. The first session of therapy, the therapist will just prompt you to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about, and they will sit back and listen. They might occasionally encourage you to go more in depth, but they will very rarely interfere. They will not say, tell me about this, tell me about that. They want to know what you think the issue is. And I would hazard a guess that the topic that Foodie chose to talk about was probably Nada and the relationship she was in with Nada, because she blames a lot of her subsequent behaviour and actions on the abusive relationship. I say it this way, I'm not arguing that it wasn't. I'm just suggesting it wasn't quite how she portrayed. I'm also suggesting that it went both ways. So Foodie would have spoken about a subject she is particularly butthurt about, for want of a better phrase. She would have told her version of the story as well. Now, as a therapist, you are taught to listen and to watch and to observe, but not to believe. A therapist will listen to your side of the story, but will ascertain through further counselling and therapy that maybe your version isn't how you have decided it was. Maybe it was somewhat, you were culpable for some parts and other things. They will not dismiss your statements outright, but the fact of the matter is, therapy is in part a quest to find the truth and then to deal with that. And this is why Foodie cannot stick with therapy. She doesn't want to know the truth. She doesn't want to be told, well, you're partly responsible for all this shit that has happened in your life. She doesn't want to know. My point is, therapy is uncomfortable, it's unpleasant. Foodie will be feeling the effects of this, and therefore a rage, a response, a sensitivity to any criticism of any way, perceived real or not, is an expected response currently to almost immediately coming from therapy to a live, and then not eating a quantity of food that would normally soothe her. She was going to rage on the same day as having therapy. It's a practical guarantee.
Well, Shazi, you're not a good Muslim for calling someone else a bad Muslim either, so goodbye. Wonder what anime sex will. Are you eating fast food? Yes. Watch my most recent video. Yeah, I just want this. Honestly, I'm craving the Santa Fe sauce. You already know. It's so good. It's really good. I'm telling you, it's addictive. No, Sam, I don't want to talk about my therapy with the internet. No.
This is the part that always gets me. If calling out a Muslim as a bad Muslim for calling you out for being a bad Muslim makes you a bad Muslim. You call me a bad Muslim, therefore I call you a bad Muslim back for calling me a bad Muslim, therefore making myself a bad Muslim. It's an oxymoron. Or is it irony? No, it's an oxymoron, isn't it?
Yeah, I want this one. Regular or medium.
Just for informational purposes, according to the Hardee's website, that meal will be between 920 and 1,120 calories. Apparently, a cup of Santa Fe sauce is about 300 calories. It's basically mayonnaise with ketchup, barbecue sauce, some spices, chilli, stuff like that. You can find recipes online. Personally, I think it sounds revolting, but there again, I'm not a fan of mayonnaise or ketchup or sauces on anything in general, actually. Even salads. Yeah, I know. Ooh, I've got another before I forget. Anime sucks. Anyway, this guy who donated, is it £400 at the last live? Although Foodie says he knows I'm married, therefore it doesn't matter, it's not a big deal that he's flirting with me and I'm encouraging it, even though I'm a married Muslim woman. He knows you claim to be married, number one. 2, he doesn't give a shit either way. 3, you know you claim to be married and therefore should give a shit. And Salah just likes money. Also, immediately after the live that rained the money, Foodie came on and was slightly more glammed up than normal, which psychologists, therapists, life coaches would say, if your partner suddenly starts caring about their appearance, maybe you should be a bit suspicious. You know, if your significant other starts showering every day or doing their hair or taking care of their clothes suddenly for no apparent reason, maybe there's somebody they're doing it for. And then I saw a picture of anime sucks. Foodie has probably seen these pictures on Twitter. He looks kind of familiar. Does he look like this guy? I know, it's hilarious. Nada with long hair. But anyway, see the resemblance? Are you not telling me that live where she did the impressions and the singing and was all dolled up and really giddy, it wasn't because she'd just seen that anime sucks, that apparently rich man who keeps throwing money at her and telling her how sexy she is and how much he wants to spend time alone with her, happens to be Nadia El Shami's doppelganger but buff. Excuse the vulgarity, but I think her underwear evaporated at the sight of that picture.
I wanted the large meal.
Very soon, Foodie is going to start berating people because they don't celebrate her small wins. In this case, being that she got a regular, not small, meal. A small meal was a kid's meal, by the way, Foodie. Instead of a large meal. We should celebrate that. You know, that meal that potentially could be 1,400 calories, not including the ice cream she gets later. We would celebrate that, Foodie, had you achieved the small goals right at the very beginning of your YouTube career and diet journey. Because we know these small goals are entirely performative. 20 minutes on a treadmill, allegedly. Round of applause? No. Why? Because we don't believe you. Regular meal instead of a large one. Brilliant. Fantastic. Round of applause? No. Because we know you're going to eat at home. There are no small victories, Foodie. The time for small victories was gone about 3 years ago, if not more. You need a fucking Hail Mary now. A small victory is going to do diddy squat for your health and your lifestyle. You, more than anybody currently, need to be institutionalized. You need to be forced to improve your health. You need to be put in a room, have your diet monitored, have therapy daily, be made to exercise daily, and have absolutely no effing choice. Nothing. No going to therapy or online meetings. No small victories. Nothing is going to save your effing life except for being institutionalized. It's got to that point. Here's the thing. It takes 20 minutes for your body and your brain to register that you have eaten. If after 20 minutes you still feel hungry, then maybe you haven't eaten enough. However, given the fact that Foodie Beauty's stomach is probably, and I'm not exaggerating, I've watched enough 600-pound Life to know this, is probably 5 to 7 times larger than it should be. Yeah, of course she's hungry. Foodie is beginning to feel judged by the comment section. Watch the change.
I'm trying to be positive, but it's hard. Not for you guys. What do you think? Do you like being judged by people who chain smoke? I don't like it. You don't like eating fast food but chain smoke. Okay.
Later, she's going to try and imply that the comment about the chain smoker is about FFG. But she's reacting to something on her comments. And she did say to the viewers, not you guys. The chain smoker who questions her fast food choices is Salah, her husband, who she's tired of being judged by because of the hypocrisy of him being a chain smoker. Yeah, he's a chain smoker. Unsurprisingly, because he lives with you. I'd be a chain smoker too.
Gotta love the hypocrisy.
It's a false equivalency. Apples and oranges. Salah chain smokes. But has he been diagnosed with any conditions that are worsened by smoking? Unlike you, who have a whole a whole list of conditions that are made worse by you eating fast food and could be made slightly better if you didn't. It's not an argument, Foodie. Plus you smoke, and you have smoked. So Hypocrisy much?
Joy, I said I don't want to talk about that. Like, what don't you understand? Like, I had a normal size fast food meal. Honestly, tired of people with their own issues, smoking, whatever, making comments about my lifestyle.
Have you noticed how she always has to point out flaws in other people when she's defending herself? It's called ad hominem fallacy, an argument where your only defense is making the other person look lesser than. It's like saying, that person said I'm ugly, but their argument doesn't count because they're old, or their argument doesn't count because they're an idiot, or their argument doesn't count because they're overweight. Granted, not as overweight as I am, but they're still overweight. She has no arguments, so she has to point out the flaws in the other people in order to feel like she's justified feeling that way. I can't talk because I'm older, I'm also overweight, I'm actually obese, but I'm not morbidly obese, plus I'm weird. I'm old tattoo head, so you can't take my arguments seriously at all, because obviously I am a very flawed individual. Which I am. We all are. Doesn't make us wrong, though.
Get insecurities from anime? There's no insecurities.
Salah doesn't feel insecure or jealous or, put out by anime sucks because he doesn't love you or care about you in that way. If he loved you, legitimately loved you, he would put a stop to it. But he doesn't love you, but he does love the money.
Like, as if I would ever leave my husband for an internet person, like.
Why not? You left Canada for an internet person.
I'm just like, I have to be perfect.
No one is asking you to be perfect. We don't expect perfection. We don't even expect normal. They're just asking you to be better than you are currently. Asking you to be a regular, everyday, psychologically, emotionally, physically, average person would be like asking me to wear a double A cup bra. Ain't gonna happen. We just want you to be a bit better, or dare I say, a little less obnoxious.
But every other person on the internet judging me can smoke, can be 350 pounds. No problem.
Don't smoke, 230 pounds. I'm 5'8" though. Farsighted. I'm farsighted. I always get those two mixed up. Crooked teeth. Chronically ill. Single. By choice. Am I not allowed to say anything? Don't know why I did that.
So if you were like being judged for trying to deal with things in your own way, and not only in my own way, because I'm in therapy now, and
You've had one therapy session, and the first session is just encouraging you to talk about what you think the issues are and not even addressing them. It's an assessment. So you can barely count the first one as therapy at all. You can say you're in therapy when you've regularly done it for a few months. And as for doing things my own way, how is that working out for you? How has that worked out for you? Your own way doesn't work, and we all know it, and you know it. We're going to judge. Of course we're going to judge. You give us so much material to effing judge. You are the proverbial shit show. It's like the worst, most poorly written rom-com on the planet being shown on cable TV at 3 o'clock in the morning that doesn't even get advertisements because it's that bad. You watch it because you can't believe it actually exists.
other things, but do you know what I mean? Like, all of Gore World is like overweight and like people can judge me. It's so weird. But not just them, just like, I don't know, just fuck. I wish people would just honestly just like mind their business.
Except you don't. Because if everybody said, all right, we will do as you want, we will mind our own business, you would not earn a single penny, except from Anime Sucks. But he doesn't really give you enough to live off currently. Probably because you're not making dedicated videos for him yet. It's coming, though. It's coming. And if you do make dedicated videos for your pet feeder, take off the fucking hijab. I apologise. Islam means a fair deal to me. I was a Muslim for quite some time, and I believed. And although my feelings have changed and I am no longer a Muslim, there are particular parts of that faith I still follow. There's particular parts of a lot of faiths I have combined and follow. And I hate the way she represents that faith. I hate it.
I mean, specifically, I just hate being judged by people who have their own vices.
There isn't a single person on the planet who doesn't have a vice of sorts. There are no angels. By the very definition of the fact we are human beings means we're faulty. You just don't like being judged. Period. You hate it. You want to live in your own bubble, your own vacuum of how you see yourself inside your head. And you only want your hug box, you know, those few people that actually agree with how you see yourself to comment. You don't like people holding up the mirror and showing you who you are.
You know? And there's nothing wrong with eating the meal I just had. Nothing.
There's an awful lot wrong if you are an untreated diabetic with a heart condition who's over 400 pounds. Quantifiably, arguably, over 400 pounds. Despite what you say, there's an awful lot wrong with what you've just eaten.
You know, I very healthy today. That took willpower, okay? Like, because people don't see the struggle I go through behind the camera of, you know, like having to really control myself all day and try to balance my life and try to get rid of that disordered way of thinking about food. Like, and whenever you, Joy, for example, come in here and say things in my own chat, which is supposed to be my positive space, and say things like, you shouldn't be eating that, oh no, fast food now. It really just brings back, it's like, it doesn't do any good.
Let's listen to that last sentence again.
It really just brings back, it's like, it doesn't do any good. It really just brings back,
It really just brings back. Correct sentence afterwards. Brings back what, Foodie? Memories from your childhood when you would be criticised for eating? Is that what it really brings back? How you were treated regarding your eating habits as a child? Possibly.
You're not going to make me change the way I live my life. Goodbye. I don't need an education class to teach me that Hardee's is not diabetic friendly. Like,
you don't want to attend a class because then someone who is qualified will tell you the things you don't want to know, despite the fact that you actually know them. But you don't want them to be told to you by a person in authority, because then there is no plausible deniability. You can't say, oh, I didn't know that eating a ganache cake would spike my glucose levels. I've never been told that before. Plausible deniability. Weaponized incompetence. Yeah. You are fighting tooth and nail to not change, because then there's no happiness in your life at all. Dare I say that this is pitiful.
yeah, how dare people be preachy? Yes, Angela, goodbye. I've already said I don't want preachiness and annoying negative vibes in my chat, so that's why. See you.
I only want people who agree with me, who think I'm fantastic, who think I'm beautiful, sexy, funny, entertaining, intelligent, wise, and that I know everything. If you do not think I am literally a goddess in physical form, fuck off.
people are, you know, judge other people when they have like even bigger skeletons, or like they have bigger issues, or they don't have perfectly healthy lifestyles. Like, get a life. Is it really so hard? Like, is it so hard for people to be positive? Like, I don't know what's wrong with people, you know?
It's very hard to be positive about your life because you do not give us anything to be positive about. Your life is literal crap. Your health is crap. Your marriage is a sham. It doesn't even exist. You are lonely. You are depressed. You are dying. What positive thing can we say? Your cat is cute. I wish you wasn't the owner.
Like, I literally ate super healthy. I went to therapy. I ate super healthy for 2 meals today, and this is my last meal, which I saved as to go out with you guys, something to do as well. And I like to go out and eat, and I'm trying to incorporate my very non-healthy habits into healthy ones. I'm trying, you know what I mean? Like, nobody has a right to tell me what I'm doing is wrong. Like, I'm giving it, like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know.
This is all according to you. This is hearsay. I went for a 10-mile run this morning, and then I gave £1,000 to some homeless man on the corner. But now that I'm home, I'm just going to sit in my chair for the rest of the day and do F all. See? It's easily done. Saying you did these things doesn't make them true. And we've all gotten to the point that even if you did do them, if it's not documented, it didn't happen.
Yeah, I mostly do sex appeal. I don't really acknowledge these people.
They're acknowledging them right now. Your behaviour is acknowledging them. You don't have to say them by actual name. You are literally acknowledging them right now.
No rage approaching.
That's true. It's not approaching. It's already arrived.
I mean, I'm not raging, but I'm human, and, you know, I'm not going to be like super... sometimes I'm going to be affected by things.
Sometimes. Sometimes you're going to be affected by things. Sometimes. Oh, that's good. Yeah. That beats any of your impressions any day.
I know I wasn't talking about Salah with the smoking. I'm just talking about other people, like, you know, in general. Like, people who have bad habits will judge other people, like, for, you know, it's just weird. Like, to me, like, those little changes are big for me right now. I've said in my previous video, like, I'm not capable of abstaining right now, and I don't want to. It's too much. And so for me, I'd rather try, you know, working with a therapist to try, like, coping mechanisms and stuff, other, you know, like, building a more normal relationship with food. Like, I had that super healthy breakfast. I had home cooked food. I had a bit of the leftovers from the beans and beef midday, and then this is the last thing. This is the next thing I ate.
Wow. With rapid eye movement, blinking. Her eyes just got an actual workout. My goodness. You are lying out of your very ample arse. You don't believe a word you just said. Right. Well, not surprising, but it just goes to prove, you know, what we've been saying all along. My palm tree is coming off.
Me every day, like, you don't know my full eating habits. You only see a snippet of it.
No, we don't know your full eating habits. I would bet that what we see online is just a little part of what you do compared to what you do offline. I bet your eating habits are arguably very terrible online, but offline, I bet they're fucking horrendous. If you were eating well, if you were eating successfully, if you were achieving the things you claim to be achieving, you would be broadcasting it all over every form of social media on the planet. You'd even get a plane and skywriting. You would be bragging, you would be boasting. There would be video after video after video, just so that you can say, see, I'm doing it. But you're not. You're showing us the least shameful parts.
A small burger and fries isn't even 1,000 calories. Yeah, I don't know how much it is. The Santa Fe sauce is high in calories, but I didn't even eat all that.
Did she just say the Santa Fe sauce is 9 calories? 9 calories? Did you mean 90? Because even then, that tub that you are going to finish is 300 calories, my dear. 9 calories. I've lost the will to comment on the rest of this video. She gets narky about Salah getting narky about her ordering ice cream off the Lulu cart man. Probably because he's ashamed that after all this time she still doesn't know Arabic numbers or know what the various currencies are in change and such things. And yeah, she gets slightly bitten by a cat. But I'm going to, for informational purposes, explain to you how I remembered what the Arabic numbers were to read. Okay? Now, this might not necessarily make sense, but it made sense to me, and this is how I remembered what the numbers are when you read them. If it looks like a 0, it's a 5. If it looks like a dot, it's a 0. If it looked like a 7, it's a 6. If it looked like a backwards 3, it's a 4. I know. If it was an arrow pointing down, it's a 7. If it's an arrow pointing up, it's an 8. And then you're only left with number 2, which is a backwards 7, and 9, which is a 9. Yeah, I know. Doesn't make sense, but the most important part is, on coins, it'll end in a 0 or a 5. If it looks like a 0, it's 5. If it's a dot, it's 0. So with money, the only numbers you're going to need to know are 0, 1, 2 and 5. 1 looks like 1, 2 looks like a backwards 7, 5 looks like a 0. 0 looks like a dot. If you know those, you can work out the currency. Look, it made sense to me. This is how my brain works. Okay? Anyway, that's all. I have 9 packages to sort out and pay for delivery. Thank you. And currently the auction for my mukbang Foodie Beauty plus token extra long noodle dude for Happy Hamsters UK currently stands at $300 or £241 sterling, which is fucking fantastic. Thank you. Take care, everybody.